Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to do a tutorial on how to trace an image for the print and cut, and this can be done using Waterslide or cardboard paper or anything along those lines. Anything that you can print, you can almost print and cut. So let's start out. First of all, you're going to want to bring your image in. You do want a good size image for this, and you want the quality of the image to be really nice. Then we're going to go up to the top, which this is really hard to help you see where I'm clicking. Okay, we're going to go up here to the top to where it says open trace window, and then this first button, we're going to select your traced area. You're going to, with your mouse, you're going to left click on an open spot, you're going to hold it down, and you're going to drag it. And you want to drag it over whatever area you need to trace. It's going to come up with all this yellow stuff. What you want to do when you're doing the trace and cut is you're going to want to fill in to where all of the edges look nice and crisp and filled in. Like, you don't want any missing spots on the edges. So we're just going to fill it in really good, and then we're going to click on trace outer edge. Okay, so if you can see where it has done extras, we don't like that, so we'll go back, edit, undo. Let's turn off the high pass filter, and we're going to go down here to the threshold. And on the threshold, we're going to turn that up really, really high, and then we're going to trace your outer edges. Now you can see you have a better trace on your image. So it's just, you have to keep playing with it so that you can get a good trace. Down here on the end where you see it's a little past the outside of the dog, if you double click on, darn it, if you want to click on the line itself, and then if you double click the line, you're going to get all of these edit points. They're little squares. You can move these little edit points up. So we're just going to adjust them. We're going to move them up to where they're closer to his little feet and get better trace that way. And you can click on an open area to add a new one, pull it and adjust it. I'm holding down Shift, and then my left mouse click, I'm highlighting a bunch of the little points. I let go of Shift, I right click, and I'm going to delete a few points. And then we're going to drag this one over here. We're going to move this one. Like I said, you just want to move these around to where they're really close to how you want it. When you're done, you can click off of it, and now you can see we're much closer to the edge. So to get those little dots to come up again, you're going to want to click on, well, let's try up here, to where it highlights just the outline. Once the outline is highlighted, you can double click. Get it? There we go. You double click on just the outline, and it'll bring up those edit points. Okay, so we have it where we want it. We're going to take it over to our cut page. I'm going to pull my cut page over here. Okay, you have to have your registration marks on, which is the little icon is two past the tracing icon. It just looks like a white square with 4 L's, one in each corner. So we're going to click on that and make sure that our registration marks are turned on. If you go to the page next to that, this is where it'll allow you, see how you can see the cutting mat back here? I want my page to be the size of a regular sheet of paper. So we have it in here. It's 8.5 tall, or 8.5 wide by 11 inches tall. So you do want to make sure that it's set to that setting. Now, let's get back. So we have our registration marks on. This image, I don't want this big because it'll be really cute on a cup. So we're going to take it down to how big we want it, and we're going to put it on a piece of, get it to the size that you think you want it to be. And when I'm using the water slide, I always print test print just black and white on regular sheet of paper so I can make sure the size is what I want. So I'm going to go up to the print settings. We're going to bring this to black and white, and then I'm just going to set it on a draft. It's just going to print it out so that I can see how big my image is actually going to be. Bentley, stop it. Okay. Once you've printed out your test image, I'm going to rough cut around it. Okay. So I just basically a rough cut. This is the elephant that I did. And basically all I'm going to do is hold it on there and make sure that it's a good size, which that does look really good. Okay, so now that we know that the size is okay, we can actually really print on Waterslide. I'm not going to really print on Waterslide because I don't need this image right now. I am going to print on cardstock because the settings are the same. So let's just pretend I'm putting Waterslide in the printer. We're going to go back up to your print settings. We're going to go color. And down here, I always put, when I'm printing for Waterslide, the photo gloss paper. It puts the most ink on the Waterslide paper and gives you the best vibrant colors. So let's hit print. Okay, we're waiting for the printer to kick in, so I'm just going to move you guys over there so you can see. It just prints out regular inkjet printer. Like I said, this is just plain cardstock. So once you would get your image printed on your Waterslide, you're going to want to take this and you're going to want to seal it. Do all 3 layers of your sealer where you seal one way and then seal another and then seal one way again. Let that completely dry. Once it's completely dry, you're going to put it on the cutting mat. So go ahead and put your page on your cutting mat. Okay. Once you have it on your cutting mat, you're going to want to load your cutting mat into your Cameo. Okay. I have it loaded into the Cameo. We're going to come back over here. Now we're going to do the cut settings. Okay. So we are going to go to your cut settings. Okay, you can see the red. That's what it's going to cut. So we want to go down here. We want to go to cardstock. The cardstock setting is also for the Waterslide. Cardstock and Waterslide, the settings are going to be exactly the same, which is why I went ahead and used cardstock since I wasn't really using the Waterslide right now. Okay, so you're... Sorry, guys. Okay. Our blade is at 3. Our speed is at 3. You can do 3 or 4. I try to keep it slow so it doesn't like nick up the edges. And then our thickness is at 33. And then we're going to go ahead and just send that right on over to the Cameo. Now the Cameo is scanning those registration marks. The reason why there's a light on back there is because I want to make sure that the eye has plenty of light to be able to read those registration marks. If you do not have enough light, it will come up and tell you it can't read registration marks. So it's doing the cutting right now. I'll go ahead and let it finish cutting, and when it's done, I'll come back. Okay, we have finished cutting. Unload our mat. And this would be your image. It is cut perfectly around the edge. Now, this being, if it was water slide, you would be able to take it in and put it in your water, and then of course put the design straight on to your cup, and then you want to seal it, and it seals really pretty, nice and clean all the way around the edge of your cup. There's one I did. This is another one which I'm getting ready to put a saying on the back, well, a poem on the back. But this is also used the scan and cut to cut all the way around the edges. Where's a couple more? Here, this is the poem that's going on the back of this cup for my mom. And then I have a yellow cup that I'm going to put this on. This is on the clear Blingasm water slide, so this will be clear and the yellow on the cup will show through on there. But that's how you do it, and it can cut those little bitty tiny things. It just cuts it right out. Thanks for watching.